Well, yeah, today was kind of crazy, but then again, today's going to become like a recap of what happened in the entire week. So we'll begin straight down again, like a little bit of a storyline. So this morning, y'all, I kind of struggled again. So basically, my brother, he went down to my school today, and I wanted to go with him. But then again, I was also telling my mom to hurry up and prepare for school. So she was taking a little bit long, but then again, I had to make a decision. I go with my brother, but my mom might feel disappointed because she prepared all for nothing. Or wait, so I ended up waiting. So eventually, I ended up coming to school at like 4 to 5 minutes before the bell rang. So thankfully, logically, I'm going to go with my brother next time. Maybe tell my mom about that. But it's fine. I'll choose that path next time. But this time, y'all, I was able to hold like a short term, like 5 minute conversation with yet another girl, and I think it went pretty well. Right? She has strict parents, so she didn't really share media at all. But I think it went well because now I'm finally beginning to break my own chain of hesitancy. So I definitely like that. We're beginning to build a little bit of notes, but now, great stuff. Short conversation. Not really lasting, but it's okay. She might view it as something that's small, but I view it as something big because I'm finally learning to break my own hesitancy. I'm finally beginning to, get the gist of this school. So, P period, y'all. We're going to skip straight down there. I did my run, I completed, but I wanted to play on the volleyball team. I didn't end up joining because they were busy doing like the team that I wanted to join. They ended up playing like 1v1, so I wasn't really able to. But as before that, some two boys who were sitting like in a dark corner, they ended up telling something creepy and they quote unquote they want to lick me, quote unquote. I found that creepy, and I definitely those types of creepy boys, they don't grow up for like a very long time. But this connects back to my treaty of December 7th, and this connects back to my experience. Like remember my online friend I told y'all about? She was sheer bad by boys, and I think those toxic boys are probably an example of that. So I felt some empathy for my friend, but those friends, bro, those people over there, definitely toxic people. Instead of ignoring, I took like the dry humor route. So basically, what I did this time is that I told him like $1 trillion and hand me the Epstein files. Obviously, finding the Epstein files would be impossible. Let's be honest. So it was definitely something that was rhetorical. Well, I wanted to do a Trump voice, but I knew I wasn't really gonna do it really well. They didn't really bother me after that. They're just kind of loud in their own space, to be honest. But the thing is, at least during this period, y'all, I just feel kind of lonely, to be honest. Right? I absolutely love to play volleyball. But then again, during this period, I do want to have people to have sympathy and like understanding too. Like sometimes I want to take a break and have like deep conversation with people, but no one was there to offer it, or a lot of people were busy out with their own friends. So I just walked around the period. I talked to one of the local gardeners of the high school and the landscapers too. They were pretty chill. So I just walked around, didn't really do much, but yeah, I guess you could tell. Kind of felt alone, to be honest, as I was watching all of my other teammates play volleyball. Not great, but it's just something that's gonna linger in my mind for a little bit. Lunch period opted again. Since you guys in the friend group are still deliberating whether I should be in there or not, and I absolutely understand that. I had two choices, y'all. Find the girl you guys told me about, or just find about a bunch of new notes. So basically, y'all, out of these two choices, I decided to just find a bunch of new random people because I think that finding the girl might take forever. Okay, I'm not like making fun of you, by the way, if you're watching this. Just that I think if that I was to look, I think I end up like taking up the entire lunch break to do so. Like I know, like since there's a lot of social noise, I may not be able to find people as fast, so that's why I didn't choose. But I would definitely like to talk to you in DMs about any future interaction. So thank you. But other than that, I did kind of hesitate, and I do realize I am definitely very picky with the amount of friend groups that I want to be in. Because I stayed still for a long time, y'all, because I was like mentally preparing myself to join a group. But then again, I had to move around constantly, staying still because the minute that one of these friend groups I was like concentrating my attention on, all of a sudden like two other people end up joining it, and there was a lot of people there. I don't like joining like friend groups that are too big. I struggled to make a decision. Another friend group that I also want to look at, they ended up leaving because they had to go somewhere. So obviously I wasn't really able. I kind of stood still for a little bit, to be honest. But I ended up just heading down and talking to the security guard. So basically, I talked to them about life. I asked them about regret, and they told me that their regrets aren't talking to girls or boys as much. Right? I told them something a little bit about me. Right? Like amongst all of the friend groups, where will we find the ones that we're truly looking for? So I asked that question, and then again, they answered to me, just be socially fluid. Like if they adapt, you gotta adapt. You gotta meet new people. They meet new people, you meet new people. And it was great. I was able to hold like another 3 minute conversation with yet another random group of people. Again, one of those friends that I talked to, they were from my middle school, so big credits if you're watching this. But again, a little bit awkward. I don't mind it, but it's okay. I'm beginning to learn today, y'all, is that friend groups in high school, well, not all of them, obviously, but many of them, they move like plate tectonics on Earth. That means whenever more people join, like a given friend group, whenever people want to, or whenever people just kind of visit, people naturally change benches. People naturally recombine and form into other groups, creating like a little bit of social cohesion right there. It's nuts. It's partially of how the dynamic of all this social noise works. I definitely find it interesting. I'm not used to these types of like metaphorical high school plate tectonics where people constantly recombine. Because all my life, I usually just sit down like in the same seat. So interesting. Definitely learned that. I'll definitely have to adapt with that. So super, super interesting. But later on, y'all, math class, unfortunately, my score dropped from a 71% to 63. So my math teacher, he physically looks at like tests and scores, so he fixes something. So I got more wrong on that test than I did. So, but thankfully, he offered us a redo on like the actual review because his last period convinced him to open up like the review for the actual test. And if we do that review, we'll be able to retake that test the given Monday. So definitely, I'll be doing that. I'll finish that by Sunday, and we'll do a test too. Again, I hope I can get the parabolas right. I hope I can get like factoring quickly. Later on, after school, y'all, I decided to push my expansion a little more. I held short-term conversations with one of the car dealers. I like basically there was this girl. I think she looks pretty cute. She was one of the local workers at the clerk desk. I was able to hold like a short conversation with her, ask her about her regrets in life and what she thinks about her job. She thinks her job at the car dealership is pretty great, but it's just that her regrets in high school is that she wishes that she could have taken trade school instead. Like she wishes she could have taken trade school instead of the other path that she took that led her here. So that's definitely what I'll take into account. Interesting, not too much. We have another week note now in a dealership, now outside of high school. So pretty great, y'all. We're expanding outside the school environment, and I definitely find it amazing. I'm definitely struggling is though I still have that latency time. Like I still struggle to actually interact with people sometimes. So that definitely acts as a blocker. But I was able to hold some short-term conversations. I even talked to one of the clerk members. This guy was a male this time. He works for like the mini shop that's in the car dealership. So he was chill too. He said he likes his job. Being these short conversations definitely increases my stimulus toward actually pushing myself out of my own comfort zone. So proud of myself, y'all. But overall, in this week, y'all, in my high school years, we'll call this like week 53. The biggest thing that I learned in this week or chapter, if you may, is that social dynamics in this school, right, are like plate tectonics. Not all of them are. Some groups still stay the same. But I also learned like how people think of me, how I'm learning to present myself, like how I'm learning to put up an extrovert front for myself. Definitely glad that we're beginning to learn that, even though it's kind of late because I was supposed to learn this in freshman year, but we're learning this like in the middle of our high school years before, after we join, but then again right before we graduate. So not late, but or at least we're getting it. So this chapter, or week, if you may, y'all, is that it's over. I may or may have found the friends I'm looking for, or maybe they haven't revealed themselves for who they truly are yet. I don't know if I found them yet, but I'm still building the fundamental blocks of my future success. Y'all. During this week, I avenged that security guard's regret. I broke his fear and we interacted with a bunch of new people in the social center. You guys know I'm an introvert, so I don't. Sometimes I don't like going extroverted territory. We broke that, and that's what matters. So next year after break and next week, y'all, I'm gonna continue these interactions. Right? In real life, y'all, may whether that be in the store, whether that be in the library, or whether I'm gonna go, or maybe whether it be in school. I'm at the mental level of a beginner adult, so I'm gonna start talking to adults who are older than me now. I'm gonna begin making connections outside of school, even if it's a week. I need to fuel my own expansion in order to actually grow. So that's definitely me right there. Now, the biggest nuance that I say here is that even if these interactions do not last into staying friendships, even if all of them, or some of them, or half of them don't end up being completely, fully aligned, I still believe that the interaction with these types of friend groups, like you guys are watching Big Goodness Deal, and even that one girl or that one boy, I think all of the people who chipped in, I believe that I am still good. We're going to continue expanding outward like a universe that's still to be discovered. So, for now, y'all, chapter 53 of this high school year is gone. The year already beginning to take a close. And a major success in my eyes, right? Even though a lot of people view high school days and like meeting new people as like, yeah, he's kind of new. I mean, we get all this, right? It's obviously natural. For me, y'all, major success. We're breaking the fear and we're going to keep on going. And as to all of the people that I've met this week, y'all, and basically all of this entire year, whether you're the ones that rejected me way earlier in the year, or maybe the ones I've just met now, whoever you are, see y'all again.